This video is sponsored by Langrisser. But first, let's break some walls.
Damn it! Who invented that rule that we have to run away in the first level? This doesn't make any sense.
You heard that? That was the fourth wall exploding. Langrisser Mobile is a strategic JRPG following the classic turn-based formula. The game is actually the 6th installment in the Langrisser saga, which had its official last game in 1998. Yep, they're going strong on reviving the series. They hired renowned voice actors for their characters. And not only that, the original game's soundtrack composer, Noriyuki Wadare, came back for this game's soundtrack as well. If you don't know the guy, I'll just tell you, he also composed the entirety of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations soundtrack, and also worked on Super Smash Bros. Brawl. So he's not really the composer next door, the guy has got what it takes. But first things first, what are we looking at exactly? Immediately from the start we are thrown into the plot. Not that plot, the real plot. From the very beginning we are thrown into the action. Matthew, the main protagonist, has a nightmare in which he's attacked by the Demon Tribe. This is our first tutorial, where we're taught to attack and use offensive skills. We are also given other bits of lore that I have no intention of spoiling. After all, Langrisser Mobile is intended as a sequel to the previous games, not as a spin-off. So the lore is just as important as the gameplay. Talking about lore, if you have never heard of the Langrisser series before, well, don't worry. It's normal for us here in the West. The saga is composed of 5 games, 6 if you consider Langrisser Mobile too. Out of these 5, only the first game, Langrisser 1, arrived here in the West under the name War Song. The other games were never released outside Japan. Langrisser 1, aka War Song, came out in 1991. Langrisser 2 came out in 1994. Langrisser 3 came out in 1996. Langrisser 4 in 1997. And Langrisser 5, The End of Legend, came out in 1998. Some of these games actually got the chance to come out of Japan.
Oh no!
But only a few times. In 2008, a fan translation patch for Der Langrisser was released. But enough history, I'm not your school teacher. Time for some gameplay! After the Nightmare tutorial, we'll meet Lushiris, the goddess of light, and she will ask us some very simple questions.
NANI?
How am I supposed to answer that? After the interrogation, we'll meet the 2 other protagonists, Grenier and Best Girl, Almeida, and we meet big bad guy Gambino again. And he wants Best Girl, Almeida dead! We can't have that, can we? Here we experience the game's mechanics some more. Movement, healing, passive abilities and the attack priority, which can resemble Fire Emblem's weapon triangle on some levels. Infantry units beat Lancers, Lancers beat Cavalry, and Cavalry beats Infantry. Additionally, Archers deal more damage to Flyers like Hawk Knights, and Holy Weapons deal more damage to monsters. Assassin, Mages and Aquatic don't have any attack priority. Ranged units like Archers, Priests, Mages and Assassins have a span of 2, which means they can attack from the distance. However, if they are attacked from a melee enemy, the retaliation will be weaker and they will also take more damage. So remember to keep Almeida away from those pesky enemies. To do so, you can also count on skills like Grenier's Guard, which, when activated, allows Grenier to protect allies within 2 spaces by entering combat on their behalf if they're attacked by a melee unit. It is possible to make your heroes stronger by making them wear good equipment, increasing health points, attack, defense, and sometimes even getting additional special effects. Heroes can also reclass, or transfer as this game calls it. By transferring, the heroes can evolve into a superior class, becoming stronger and learning new skills. The transfer offers a branched evolution, so you can choose whether you want to evolve your hero into a class or the other, based on the skills and stats that you receive. As I said at the start, the previous games in the series are hardly known outside Japan. But what if I told you there's actually a solution to this? Enter Time Rift mode! In this mode, you can play compacted version of the previous game's chapters, with the newest graphics and mechanics of course. including voice dialogues. This is a huge nostalgia factor for the hardcore fans of the series, and a way for us new players to experience the older games that could never reach us in the West. It's an interesting choice indeed, but probably a needed one considering how little we know about these games. The game has a lot of functions and mechanics, it's extremely rich, but thankfully each new function is unlocked as you proceed in the story and comes with a tutorial to make sure you understand well and are not overwhelmed by the sheer size of the game. I must give the development team credit for this. They clearly consider the fact that the game is very complex and throwing everything at the player at once would leave him very confused. Instead, they let you learn little by little. My final thoughts on the game? It's worth trying out. The game may seem complex, and it is, but as I said, you're slowly taught everything you need to know, and I found myself enjoying the game throughout the early access. Yeah, the early access had some flaws, like the fact that the English voice lines sometimes differ from the English text.
Sorry, I didn't hear the alarm clock.
But you guys will be playing the final version, not the early access, so problems like those will get solved. Langrisser Mobile is downloadable for free on the Play Store and the App Store. Thanks again to Langrisser for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys for watching it until the end. And until next time, keep breaking the fourth wall.